Orlando pulled away for a 94-88 win, leaving people wondering if Chicago's playoff loss the year before wasn't just about rust. Maybe the Magic really were better. Then again, the Bulls were.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope y'all are having a good day so far. So I had a member's request to check out this video from Cosgrove, and yeah, y'all read my mind because I had my eyes on this one as well. This one is titled Revisiting All 10 Losses from the Bulls 1995 to 1996 season. 30 years later. It is 30. Wow. Yeah, okay. Damn, man, I'm getting old. So this was 30 years ago. I gotta tell you the truth, it's been so long that all I really remember about the losses was a lot of the losses came from, if I remember correctly, from teams that were kind of subpar. So I think it was kind of like those days where the Bulls were probably just thinking we're going to cruise through this victory, and then they got stunned by, you know, a lesser opponent that was just more hungry that day. But I actually, it's hard to remember, so I'm excited to go through this with you guys and see what all these 10 losses were. But anyways, y'all know Cosgrove, but I'm linking the original video down below in the description like I always do, so go check out his channel. I'm glad to see this video performing great for him. He was dealing with some YouTube issues a couple of months ago, and I'm really glad to see him back on top. Anyways, link is down below. You also see a list of channel members. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into this, guys. Like the video if you could. It'll amplify it. And hit that hype button if you got any left. I'd appreciate it a lot. Let's do it.
Before the 73-9 Golden State Warriors ever rewrote the record books, the Chicago Bulls had already set the standard. Back in the 1995-96 season, Michael Jordan and the Bulls stormed their way to a then unthinkable 72-10 record. So
and the crazy thing is, this is still the standard because they actually it ended with a championship. So this is still the best season.
Just like we did previously with the Warriors' 9 losses, today we're going back to that historic 95-96 season and revisiting all 10 losses those Bulls suffered along the way.
Alright, this is gonna be cool. Cool intro, man. What a season this was.
When Michael Jordan returned to the NBA in March of '95 after his brief baseball stint, it was obvious that he wasn't quite in peak basketball condition. Of course, he had his bright spots, but when the Bulls were eliminated by the Orlando Magic in the Eastern Conference semifinals, it was generally accepted that he was just rusty. But heading into the 95-96 season, everything was different. Jordan finally had a...
The irony is 30 years later, now all the LeBlanco fans are always saying like, oh, you know, he lost against Orlando. While back then in the moment, the context was, yeah, the guy just came back from playing baseball. Like, he's rusty as hell. The fact he played as good as he did, like him putting up a double nickel against the Knicks, shout out Knicks fans, that blows my mind. Like, how you can be that rusty and still pull off a performance like that.
Full training camp, a full preseason, and time to get his legs back under him. The rust was gone, and expectations were sky high.
Yep.
And said he is in so much better shape than he was the last 6 weeks of the season when he came back last year.
Now, unlike the Warriors who opened...
And that's also like the difference between a champion and somebody who's just cashing his check in. Because MJ, dude... MJ had the whole summer he could have been off. He was like recording, he was filming Space Jam. He could have just chilled, but no, he wanted to come back better. So he was training all off season, which is funny because like he's not getting paid for that technically. He's getting paid for the seasons, but on his off time, playing basketball the whole freaking time.
Their historic season with a 24-0 start, the Bulls only began 5-0 before suffering their first loss. And fittingly, that first loss came at the hands of none other than the Orlando Magic, the same team that had ended their season just months earlier. What made it even more surprising was that Orlando was without Shaquille O'Neal, sidelined by a thumb injury. On paper, it looked like a...
Wait. Okay. Dickie Simpkins was in there. Who are you taking... No, Rodman. Okay, so Rodman wasn't playing this game. That is a big deal. Contact, Horace Grant. B. Scott, Penny. Okay.
Was that Orlando was without Shaquille O'Neal.
Dude, that's crazy, though. All right. Yeah, Shaq was more important to Orlando than Dennis was to Chicago, I guess I'll say. How did they lose?
Sidelined by a thumb injury. On paper, it looked like a clear advantage for Chicago, and early on, it appeared that way. But after the first quarter, the game flipped completely. Orlando picked up their defense, and Penny Hardaway took over, pouring in 36 points, while Jordan finished with 23 on an inefficient 8 for 20 shooting night. Orlando pulled away for a 94-88 win, leaving people wondering if Chicago's playoff loss the year before wasn't just about rust. Maybe the Magic really were better. Then again, the Bulls were without Dennis Rodman. Chicago responded by winning another 5 straight games before running into the team that they would eventually face in the NBA Finals, the Seattle Supersonics. The Bulls built a solid lead.
Okay, so with the Orlando thing, that's actually shocking. I can't believe Jordan and Pippen allowed themselves to lose that game
after the first quarter and extended it even further by halftime.
All right,
they have
16
just
up.
Sucked the oxygen out of this building.
I mean, the Bulls look in mid-season form. I mean, they're 10-1. Jordan looks so much better than he did the last 17 games in the playoffs of last year.
But the second half told a very different story. Seattle played nearly flawless basketball, while Chicago completely stalled, scoring just 11 points as a team in the
Wait, can I see that?
flawless basketball, while Chicago
Missed last 10 3-point field goal attempts. Whoops.
completely stalled, scoring just 11
I wonder
points.
if this was a back-to-back then. The Bulls chucking a bunch of threes back then, like, signifies to me they were tired.
As a team in the third quarter.
Seattle trailed by 18
Yeah, good defense.
in the second quarter. I thought they were done.
Jordan struggled, shooting 6 for 19 and finishing with 22 points.
Oh, he shot abysmal. He shot like 32%.
Well, defense is the name of the game in the NBA, and the Sonics have shut down Michael Jordan. 1 of 7 shooting for Michael in the second half.
Who was guarding him?
With
Hershey?
25 seconds remaining, Gary Payton came up with a crucial steal on Jordan, a moment that felt like early
Yeah, I think that's
foreshadowing for
Hawkins
what would
right
become
there.
a major
Oh, no, that's
storyline in
GP.
the
That's
finals
GP.
later that year. Payton led Seattle with 26 points, and Sean Kemp had
26.
25, as Chicago took their second loss of the season.
Rain
Game
Man.
over. The game is over.
All right, so far my narrative is totally incorrect. They're losing to the best teams, not the worst teams. Let's see how it continues on.
So the Sonics have handed the Bulls their second loss of the year.
The Bulls
See you
were
in the
going to
finals.
carry a 13-game winning streak into Christmas.
Okay. No, I was trying to check something else. Okay.
Improving to 23-2 the day
So that's a back-to-back right there. That's another back-to-back and another back-to-back. Good Lord. There'd be so much load. Another one right there. There'd be so much load management with this type of schedule these days.
after Christmas. They traveled to Indiana to face the Pacers for the first time since Jordan's famous "I'm Back" game.
Okay, so it's going to be 3 in a row. I'm wrong. Pacers are another one of the best teams in the league.
Chicago came out sluggish, and Indiana took full advantage, building a 19-point
Wow.
halftime lead. The Bulls
Okay,
made
wait. Can I just see, though, Indiana? This is not a back-to-back. No excuse. Okay, all right.
a push in the second half.
Pippen a steal. MJ with the hammer. Yes, sir.
Easy peasy.
9-point game.
70-61 now as the Pacer fans start to boo. It has not been pretty, but the Bulls have clawed their way back to within 6.
Okay.
Jordan scored 30 points, but needed 28 shots to get there, and Scottie Pippen added 26 of his own, but it wasn't enough.
Johnny, you made the point about Thanksgiving earlier in the loss to Seattle, and now the next one comes after Christmas. Maybe they just don't like the holidays.
Rick Smits led Indiana with 26 points, Reggie Miller chipped in 20, and Chicago came up short.
And the Indiana Pacers and the Chicago Bulls,
it's close.
15-game winning streak. Bulls were
Hey, those kind of games are good, though. That's good for a team because they were going to get blown out, but they had the willpower to come back and make this a competitive game.
to tie the record at 14.
That'll
But
come in
just couldn't
handy
quite
by
get
the
it done. The
playoffs.
franchise record of 14 straight.
But it's okay, because that loss would spark a franchise-best 18-game winning streak.
Wow.
By February 4th, heading into a matchup with the Denver Nuggets, the Bulls sat at an incredible 41-3 record. This was the point where people started seriously talking about the possibility of 70 wins. Denver entered the game...
It's funny. We wait until over half of the season until we start talking about it back then. Nowadays, OKC gets off to like a 10-0 start, and we're already like, oh, oh, they're going to beat the Bulls record. I didn't get on that bandwagon, you guys, but they were looking good early on. But you never know until like at least the All-Star break what a team's really made of.
18-26, and was widely expected.
Okay, so this is going to be one of those that fits my narrative of an under par team, far under par team.
To be overmatched, but they had other plans. The Nuggets caught fire in the first half, led by Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf,
That's my
who
boy.
Scored 23 points before halftime.
Yeah, that's my
we
guy.
had a unique player, obviously not the status of Michael or Scotty, but we had a unique player of our own who you had to deal with on the offensive end. That was Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
Yeah. You ever wonder what Steph Curry would have looked like in the 90s? This is as close as you're going to get, I think.
Denver stunned Chicago by taking a 31-point lead in the second quarter.
You would have asked me that we would have a 31-point edge on the Michael Jordan-led Chicago Bulls. I'd say you'd be insane, but that's exactly what we did.
But the Bulls refused to go quietly. They stormed back in the third quarter, outscoring Denver 39-16, with Jordan accounting for 22 of those points himself.
We threw everything at him.
Good leader.
And, if I remember correctly, I think he went for 22 or 24 in the third quarter alone. Part of you is kind of like, uh-oh.
Somehow, Chicago
22 in one quarter is disgusting. He was pissed off.
grabbed the lead in the fourth, but Denver would respond with a 15-5 run late in the game, pulling off one of the biggest upsets of the season.
That's the dagger. That's the end of the streak. The Denver
Oh, is that Dale Ellis?
have ended the Chicago Bulls club record 18-game winning streak.
That's so funny. A regular season victory.
For Denver.
That's the sweetest moment they're going to get all year.
In the history of the franchise.
Double.
Just 2 days later, the Bulls were in Phoenix, and shockingly, they lost again. Charles Barkley dominated with 35 points and 16 rebounds.
Man, by 95, this is now 96, right? 96, 7, yeah. Charles Barkley was getting fat again.
This team goes 41-3 to start the season.
He can still hoop.
2 in a row. That just shows you
Cotton.
about this NBA.
That's right. We fired Paul Westphal, and then we had Cotton
To
Fitzsimmons.
start the season, and
Hold
it was
up.
2 in a row.
We had Cotton Fitzsimmons here take back over for the Suns temporarily while we were looking for a new permanent coach. But Cotton Fitzsimmons is like, anybody who's been here in Phoenix as a Suns fan for years, you know this is the guy. Because not only did he coach us like throughout the 80s and all the way leading up to where Paul Westphal took over and took us to the championship, he still came back when we needed him. And still to this day, I mean, like he is a Phoenix Sun. And yeah, us Suns fans, we appreciate you, Cotton.
That just shows you about this NBA. It's tough. They ran into a very hot Denver team, and now they ran into a Phoenix Suns team with a lot of emotion. That's the battle they're going to have all year, Vern, trying to prove everybody's going to be trying to gun down this team.
Chicago actually had a 16-point lead early in the second quarter, but the Suns controlled the rest of the game, handing the Bulls their 5th loss of the season and their first loss by double digits.
The first time this season that the Chicago Bulls have lost by 10.
They got
No,
spanked.
but they're not just going to cakewalk through the NBA like everybody thinks they are.
At that point, all 5 of Chicago's losses had come on the road, and the next one would too. On February 23rd, the Bulls entered Miami with a 48-5 record. The Heat were
Okay, Miami's legit.
short-handed.
12 guys.
Okay, and the Suns were legit, by the way. So I'm keeping with the narrative. My narrative so far so wrong. It was only correct when it came to Denver. All right, Bulls got their starting lineup, everyone intact.
Chicago Bulls, a full team around Phil Jackson. The Miami Heat, it looks like a small
Rex
gathering of
Chapman.
friends, doesn't it?
But
Rex Chapman's going to go off this game. This is that game, isn't it?
Rex Chapman
Yeah.
played the game of his life, torching Chicago for 39 points.
Dude, there has been so many YouTube videos created based on this game alone.
While hitting an absurd 9 of 10 from beyond the arc, all while trash-talking Michael Jordan.
Yep.
The Bulls mounted a late fourth quarter comeback and had plenty of time to steal the win, but Miami held on. Chicago bounced back with 6 straight victories, highlighted by Jordan dropping 53 points on the Pistons before heading to New York 3 days later to face the Knicks.
And they have come in at 54-6, a record 70 wins, very much in sight, while the Knicks struggling at 34-26.
Now, Michael has been feeling very good as of late, 53 points the other night against Detroit. I asked him about that last night. He said, you know, coming into New York, I feel like maybe 55. I asked him again this morning. He said, you know, the speed limit has changed. I feel more like 60. Mark?
Come on, MJ. Oh, man, he's trying to duplicate his double nickel.
60 is the speculation from Michael Jordan.
But he would only score about half of that, and only had 2 other teammates reach double figures.
All right, that's some weak sauce, MJ. How'd you say 60 and only get 32? How'd you shoot that day? 50% from the threes, 46% from the field. Not your best, not your worst. How come you didn't shoot more, man? How can you say that to Ahmad and not back it up?
New York, meanwhile, had 6 players score in double digits.
Oh, dude, they had J.R. Reed on this lineup. I forgot J.R. Reed was a Knick at this time. John Starks off the bench, huh? Willie Anderson, Charlie Ward.
Aside from a brief Chicago lead in the third quarter, the Knicks controlled the game from start to finish, handing the Bulls their 7th loss in convincing fashion.
Luke can't guard Patrick.
The worst defeat of the season for the Chicago Bulls.
We came out and we knew what we had to do. We got it done. You know, last time we played the Bulls, Scotty was talking a lot of trash that Madison Square Garden was his house. Well, we had to let him know that it's still ours.
About a week later, Dennis Rodman headbutted a referee after what he believed was an unfair ejection. The Bulls still beat the Nets that night, but Rodman was suspended for 6 games, a costly blow during their chase for 70 wins, especially with Scottie Pippen already sidelined by injury. That absence was felt on March 24th.
Okay, so now it's just MJ.
Against the expansion Toronto Raptors in their inaugural season.
The rock stars were in town. Michael Jordan and the Jordaneers were in town. Everybody wanted to see that dude play, especially that season.
Chicago entered the game at 60-7, while Toronto sat at 17-49. No one expected drama, but they got it. The Bulls trailed by 1 with just under 20 seconds remaining, but couldn't convert on their final possession.
Yeah, he's missing his...
5 seconds. Pippen.
Oh, there is Pippen.
Let it go. 3. Steve Kerr. No. And the Toronto Raptors.
Oh, he made the shot too.
Have pulled it out.
It's too late.
They've done it. The Toronto Raptors.
Dude, how did he... What kind of shot is this? Hold up.
5 seconds. Pippen will have to let it go. 3. Steve Kerr.
Dude, watch the angle, okay? This is beyond Tim Duncan. Watch the angle, and he's gonna use the glass somehow. How does that happen? What kind of shot is that? I know it doesn't count, and I know the Bulls lost, but what the hell was that?
Toronto Raptors.
All right, so far the Bulls have lost to 2 bad teams.
They've done it. The Toronto Raptors.
2 really bad teams, in fact.
They have beaten Michael. They have beaten the Bulls.
Damon
They
Stoudemire
just celebrate like they won a championship.
led the upset with 30 points.
I like
as
Damon
Toronto
a lot.
shocked the basketball world.
Think about it. They lost 10 games all year, and one of them was to an expansion team.
They played as well. Yeah, you have to give them credit. And expansion team, man. Once again, this is not an expansion team.
You know, it's no big deal. We're still 60-8. We're in good shape.
I don't think there could have been a more important regular season game.
We won 21 games, but that game, you know, you never forget it.
Chicago recovered.
What happened to Damon Stoudemire, you guys? I was a big fan of his, and then I felt like he just kind of fell off the face of the planet, and I lost track of him. But his first couple of seasons, man, I really followed him close.
Winning 6 straight games before an April 8th matchup with the Charlotte Hornets.
And again, on the line, a 44-game winning streak in the regular season here at the United Center.
Okay, Charlotte Hornets at this point, I think they were like an 8th seed or something.
Unblemished 37-0 mark here at home.
MJ poured in 40 points, but Charlotte relied on a more balanced team effort. The Bulls had multiple chances to win late, but couldn't capitalize.
No, the tip Rodman, no, the tip Jordan, no, Pippen, no! The Charlotte Hornets have defeated the Chicago Bulls, snapping a 44-game winning streak by the Bulls on their
Okay,
home.
so I think BJ was on his team, and then Del Curry, Steph's dad, was on his team as well.
Floor and does what no foe has done till now. Beat the Bulls
by 1 point
in the United Center.
Thankfully for Chicago, that sting faded quickly. Just over a week later, they secured their 70th win against the Milwaukee Bucks, surpassing the 1972 Lakers, a massive milestone and a huge weight off their shoulders.
But I must admit, we didn't start the season and say, hey, we're going to win 70 games. We start the season and say we're going to win a championship. We're halfway there right now.
Are you glad it's over now that the 70 is attained?
Yeah, I'm glad. And now we can, focus on the playoffs, which is the most important thing right now.
Still, one goal remained, the most home wins in a single season.
Not many goals remain. There is
39-1 at home. Dude, Boston, I forget that 86 Boston team is stupid good.
one record on the line today. Chicago trying to equal the Boston Celtics' best home record of all time.
Only the Pacers stood in the way during Chicago's final home game. Indiana was without Reggie Miller, making it seem like a formality, but it wasn't. The Bulls trailed by 8 with just under 2 minutes left until Eddie Johnson made a critical mistake.
I remember standing at the free throw line, I looked at it. I said, why don't you go sit down? Game's over. I said, y'all not getting this record. And he looked at it. We were up 8 points.
Didn't you learn back when you played in Phoenix? You talk about it. Don't talk trash with MJ.
About a minute and a half left. The next minute, I'm telling you, he played like it was game set.
He decided to trash talk Michael Jordan before the game was officially over, and his Pacers teammates were visibly unhappy during a timeout.
And all of a sudden, it was a 1-point game. So Larry Brown
He's laughing. He's just laughing like the idiots. Why'd you have to wake me up? I was content with 70 wins.
And we go to the bench, and I think one of my teammates said, did you say something to him, Jay? I said, yeah. I told the game was over. And Larry Brown heard it, and Larry was like, why would you do that?
For the next minute and a half, he lost his mind.
But Indiana managed to survive, aided by a controversial call on Jordan at the buzzer.
I hit 2 free throws.
Wait. Let me look at that again. I don't think so, but it's too blurry. I can't tell you 100%, but it doesn't look like that was a foul.
By a controversial call on Jordan at the buzzer.
I hit 2 free throws to seal the victory, and he was just mad. And he was walking off the court, and he and I was like crossing paths. I said, man, what is wrong with you? And he said, just be careful what you ask for.
That's so funny, dude.
The Pacers escaped with the win, handing Chicago their 10th and final loss.
You can see how true it is, too, because they literally had that conversation while passing by. That's so great. Wow, that's a cool image right there.
Becoming the only team to beat the Bulls twice that season. With that defeat, Chicago finished 39-2 at home, just 1 win shy of the Celtics' all-time record.
Crowned that 86 Celtics team.
Very next night, the Bulls closed the season with a win, finishing 72-10, an NBA record at the time. Now, did you guys notice that Chicago's final 3 losses all came by just 1 single point? If a few moments swing differently, we might be talking about a 75-7 Bulls team. And with Steve Kerr missing a potential game winner in their 8th loss, you could say that he unknowingly helped the future Warriors eventually surpass the Bulls record.
Crazy, what you guys just accomplished is incredible. I honestly thought nobody would ever beat that record.
Now here are some interesting facts. Kevin Garnett is the only player in NBA history to have played against both the 72-10 Bulls and the 73-9 Warriors.
Wow.
The Denver Nuggets are the only team to beat both of them. And it's crazy to think that Michael Malone has a win over the 2016 Warriors, while his father, Brendan Malone, has a win over the 96 Bulls when he was the head coach of the Raptors, which we talked about that game earlier. There were small differences between the Bulls and Warriors' record-breaking seasons. Golden State never lost back-to-back games, and they didn't lose twice to the same opponent like Chicago did. But the Bulls would gladly make that trade because they finished their season with a championship, something the Warriors couldn't do.
Don't mean anything without a ring. I wonder what Golden State's home record was that year. Great video, man. This was so much. This was even more fun than I thought. I hope you guys enjoyed this too. I had a blast here. All right, thank you supporters for supporting Cosgrove. Man, I forgot how good their home record was that year, you guys. That's actually probably the most impressive thing. Like, the record is crazy, but to only lose 2 games at home, like, what a good feeling that must be to be a Bulls fan that year. And every time you go to a game to support your team, you know, we have like 99% odds, or like I'd say about like 95% odds, we're gonna win this game. You know, that's a great feeling. And you get blown out only once the entire season, and I don't think that was at home. So like every time you are gonna lose at home, which is only gonna be twice, yeah, it's going to come down to the last second, and it's going to be a great game regardless. So that's awesome. Fans getting absolutely every penny plus more, you know, everything they paid for in that. That's just so awesome. Anyways, what else can I say? Still the greatest season of all time. And I like seeing it. It's always going to come down to the 86 Celtics and the 96 Bulls, 10 years apart, and 2 of arguably the greatest teams of all time. One of them is probably the greatest team of all time, and take your damn pick. It doesn't matter. They're both fantastic. Anyways, you guys, I'm going to head out of here. Awesome video by Cosgrove. Go check out his channel. Go support his channel. Like the vid on your way out if you could. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. And most importantly, is to be water, my friends.